Hey party people, this is Charlie Gilkey from Productive Flourishing. Today I decided that I would do a video. Actually, I decided a long time ago that I would do a video, but I keep chickening out because it's never good enough. And this seems to be counter to a lot of stuff that I say, so I decided it's not going to be good enough. So, it will be ugly. I will say a lot because I'm still working on getting the ums out of my speech. This is a recent development for me. And there may in fact be cats and people walking around. Exhibit A is socks. I'll let you see her. See? I don't know if I'll get her to say something here. No, she decided that she's going to be quiet. She's never quiet until you want her to say something. Is that right? Ow, ow. Okay. So today I'm going to talk about, see there are the ums. Today I'm going to talk about turning the instant off. As I've been talking about the last few weeks with my struggles / challenges / victories with time, it's become quite aware. I've become quite aware of the way that time has sped up for us, and we're not adjusting to it as much as we would like to. So let's think about this in context. There are the elections going on in Iran right now, and we can go on to Twitter and learn real time what's going on. So, if the Iranian government storms somebody's house, they could be sitting there on a cell phone or on a computer being like, these bastards just ran over my house and it's bullshit. And we can know about that, like, now. This is unprecedented. This is mind-boggling when you think about it. But there's this open question of, do we really need to know this right now? And what does it cost us to stay plugged into the information flow in that way? It costs us a lot, I think. So what I've been doing for the last few weeks is successively unplugging and turning the instant off, turning the instant messaging off, turning Twitter off, turning, that psychological need to check email off. And it's really kind of strange. And what's strange about it is you go through this period in which you kind of have to figure out what to do all over again. You have to figure out, how am I going to manage my time when there's nobody pressing on me and there's no information that's either interesting me and having my mind go that way, or all sorts of things like that. And things slow down incredibly. But what I've noticed about this is that it doesn't stay slowed down. It doesn't stay slow. You have to actively turn the instant off. And some of you will be like, duh. But seriously, you have to actively turn Twitter off. You have to actively turn email off. You have to actively turn off your phone. And it's this idea that the natural flow of things and the natural way of progress is to keep us plugged in and to keep us go. And it's not giving us enough room to breathe. It's not giving us enough room to think about the things that we need to think about, because we frantically go from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And it's really interesting in the productivity niche how people are so fascinated with saving time. Yet when they save time, they just fill it up with more stuff and fill it up with more stuff. So they don't actually get any more time. And because they don't have time, they don't think about what they want to do with their time. And so they end up flitting from one thing to the next, to the next. And they're always on the search for, like, why am I not happy? Why am I so frantic? Well, because you didn't turn the instant off. When you reclaim that time, you have to think about what you're going to do with the time that you've reclaimed. If you just fill it up with more stuff, what's the point? Seriously. And so we end up in this position. So my original goal was to record all at once and not do any editing or splicing, but my laptop decided that it was going to die on me. And so I'm not able to carry on the train of thought that I had. Unfortunately, it was 4 or 5 minutes of good stuff that now I'm trying to recreate later in the day. So I'll just throw that out there. But I'm going to keep going. where I was at was basically saying that we end up in the position in which we know on a very gut level that we need to change the way that we're doing things, and we need to reclaim some time for ourselves to grow and to breathe and to think the things that we need to think. But we don't know how to do that. And when we do gain time, or when we do reclaim some of that time, we just fill it up with more stuff. And this is fundamentally unsatisfying. What we're talking about here is really, well, we're talking about changing habits, and changing habits that we don't recognize are habits. And that's really hard to do. Obviously, if you recognize that it's a habit you don't want to continue to engage, you can do something about it. But if you're not aware that it's a habit, then it's just something that keeps pressing upon you and pressing upon you until you can't take it anymore. But this habit that we have of constantly staying plugged in into the instant things and into the now needs to be changed, and it requires a lot of active changing. So, for instance, part of this process of unplugging for me has been sitting back and recognizing where my mind is and where it needs to be. Here recently, we've had a couple family situations pop up, and they've been kind of emergent, like, a father-in-law needing to have emergency surgery to see what's going on with his heart. And the old me would have tried to, pack up and go home to see that, and tried to stack all of the client calls I had and all of the work and all the momentum and all the stuff on top of that. So here I was, here I am in Fort Smith, Arkansas, trying to be with my family through the situation, but I'm also thinking about work and I'm thinking about all this stuff. And I decided I wasn't going to do that this time. And I talked to some clients and I said, hey, this has come up. I'm sorry, but I'm going to need to talk to you sometime next week. I made the decision that I just wasn't going to work during this time, because whatever I did, this is what I've learned, whatever I did while I was there would have to be redone later, and I'd have to re-engage anyways. And it was pulling me from where I actually needed to be. And let's back up to the client calls. I recognize that were I to try to call and do what it is that I do while this was going on, that I really wouldn't be serving the people that I'm trying to serve, because I would be strained and I couldn't be there in the moment with them, and I couldn't see the opportunities that I would otherwise see. So you would think that this is easy stuff to do, but in the moment it's not. It's not easy to see that you need to cancel obligations so that you can meet the ones that are emergent and important. It's not easy to let go of the ideas that you had of, well, I'm going to do this during this amount of time, and just recognize that, things change and you have to change with it. It's hard work to do that, especially given the needs that are continue to press upon us, the need to increase cash flow for your business and the needs to maintain momentum. And I'm fundamentally glad that I was able to do that, and that I've got this awareness. And I wanted to convey that because if you're going through this, it's hard. As I said in the last post about kind of the challenges with time, is the very tools that enable our freedom are starting to imprison us in different ways. And we need to be conscious of those ways in which we're being imprisoned, and make the choice to turn the instant off and to be completely in the now. So, as I said, this video is going to be very rough. One of the reasons it's going to be rough is because I don't have a really cool way of signing off. It's not like Good Night America or anything like that. So I'm just going to kind of wrap it up, say thanks for listening. If you'd like to see more of these, please leave a comment saying so. But until then, turn the now off.